Hey everybody, what's going on? It's Patrick Dang here. Now in this video, what you're gonna do is you're gonna learn how to sell anything to anybody. Now, if you ever worked in sales, you might have found yourself in a situation like this. You meet a prospect and let's say you're meeting them in person, right? And the prospect, which is someone who might be a potential customer for you, says, all right, show me what you got, right? What's the pitch? You know, what are you selling? And suddenly you go into this pitching mode of, okay, let me tell you about what I do, people that we helped, let me try to demonstrate what the product does, and you do this crazy presentation, and finally at the end, you try to go for the close. And once you do all of this, the prospect might just look at you in the eye and say, sounds interesting. Let me think about it. And then days go by, months go by, and you try to follow up with them and you just never hear from them again. It's almost as if they just disappeared on the face of the earth, right? And a lot of people who are in sales, especially if you're just starting out, fall into this trap where people tell you, let me think about it, but you don't actually understand what they need to think about or why they're not buying. And when people fall into this trap, they go into the mindset of that sales is a numbers game, right? And they so go to a customer and they try to pitch. If they don't get the sale, they go to the next one, pitch, next one, pitch, next one, pitch. Now, although sales is somewhat a numbers game, you should always be increasing your closing ratio. And if you don't understand why people aren't buying and they just say, hey, let me think about it, then you're not going to get better. And so in this video, what we're gonna do is we're gonna completely reverse the script. And instead of you doing a dog and pony show trying to impress other people to get them to buy, you're going to reverse it and you're going to get the prospect to want to buy from you, okay? And to understand how this all works, you got to understand human psychology, and that is people buy emotionally and they justify their decision logically. And the strongest emotion to get someone to take an action, aka buy your product or service, is pain. Think about the last time you went to the doctor, right? It's usually because you have a pain, you have a problem, and you go to the doctor, hopefully to buy some products and services to make that pain go away. It's almost as if these things sell themselves. And so we want to apply that lesson into our sale and find the pains that our prospects have and show them that we can be the solution to their pain. Now, it doesn't matter what industry you're in or if you think your product or service is special, the fundamentals of why people buy is always going to be the same. And if you can identify these pains, you can get people to buy. And so in this video, I'm going to show you 3 simple steps to uncover someone's pain so that you can sell anything to anybody. So if you're excited to learn these 3 simple steps to sell anything to anybody, go ahead and drop a like in this video because every like does help this video reach new audiences. And if you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe because I'm going to be releasing new videos every single week. So with that said, let's go ahead and dive into the 3 steps to sell anything to anybody. So here are going to be the 3 steps to sell anything to anybody. Step number 1 is latent pain. Step number 2, realize pain. And step number 3 is a desired solution. So let's go ahead and go one by one so you understand the entire process. So in step number 1, it's all about the latent pain. So a latent pain is essentially a pain someone has, but they don't know they actually have it, right? So your job is to convince them that they have a pain. So a lot of times when you go into a sales meeting and you try to pitch your product or service, the reason why it doesn't work is because customers don't feel like there's enough pain for them to actually give you money to make that pain go away. So no pain, no sale, and you have to make the person realize that they have a pain. All right, so let me give you an example of latent pain, right? So back when I used to work at Oracle, I would sell into large hospitals who had 1,000 or more employees. And on these hospitals' websites, if you wanted to apply for a job there, you would have to email jobs@company.com. The problem with this is that if a hospital is getting hundreds of applications every single day, then someone has to manually process all this information and put it into Excel sheets. And obviously that's going to be a lot of time. So the software that I was selling basically automated this entire process. You don't need any humans involved, and basically the software will do everything for you, right? So as a latent pain, I have to convince the hospitals that they have a problem. Problem is that you shouldn't be spending time, money, and energy having someone full-time manually processing all this data, and it's kind of expensive to hire someone full-time to do this when you could just pay for a simple software to automate the entire process. So once they realize that they have a pain, we actually go into step number 2, which is a realized pain, right? So we take a latent pain, take a problem someone doesn't know they have, and make them aware that they have it, and then you move them into step number 2, which is making them realize they have that pain. And so once the customer starts realizing, oh, I actually have a problem, we're wasting a lot of time, money, and energy doing these things, we should figure out a way to solve it, right? And once you see this little hint of pain, right, whether it's they're wasting time, they're wasting money, they're wasting energy and things like that, you want to go really deep. Okay, so you can't just have a little pain and try to pitch your product right there. You have to really understand their pain and get the customer to even understand their own pains and realize how big of a problem it actually is. So in the case of me selling HR software, I could say, okay, so you have this person, a recruiter, who you're paying $50,000 a year to manually process information into an Excel sheet. And so what I'll do is I'll ask more questions, right, to really understand the pains. And I could say, well, instead of that person manually entering data, don't you think they would be better off recruiting and actually finding the best talent for your hospital? When I ask that question, the customer is going to have a light bulb in their head and say, well, that's actually a really good point. Why are we spending $50,000 for someone to do administrative tasks when their job is actually to recruit? Right? And so you go even deeper into the pains. I could say something like, okay, well, what happens if you do nothing? What happens if you just keep doing it the way you've been always doing it? Then they're going to think, if we keep doing it the way we're doing it, then we're not going to be able to get the best talent. If we don't have the best talent, our hospital's not going to be the best. We're not going to make enough revenue to hit our goals. And it continues further on. And it gets even deeper and deeper and deeper into the pain, right? So you take a simple problem like, hey, you're not automating your recruiting process, and you tie that all the way into their core problems, which is you're not going to make money. You're not going to be the best hospital in the area. People aren't going to come to you. You're not going to have the best reputation, and then you're going to go downhill, right? And so you start now, this little minor problem becomes a really big problem, and that realized pain just became a extreme realized pain, and now people want a solution, right? And so from there, we're going to go into step number 3, which is the desired solution. So now that the customer understands that they have a problem, now they're going to look for solutions, and all you got to do is ask more questions to understand what their ideal situation looks like. So I could say, okay, so now we understand your pains. In an ideal world, what would you want this to look like? And they would say something like, well, preferably we would have something that automates the entire process and blah, 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 right? So they talk about their ideal situation. And based on your questions, you're actually framing the entire conversation so that the solution that they talk about or they want just so happens to be what your product or service does. So once a customer explains their desired outcome, only then you can pitch your product or service, right? And why this is important is because if you just go into every customer and you try to pitch right away, it's not going to work because you don't understand their pains, you don't empathize what they're going through. But if you understand their pains and you clearly define it by turning a latent pain into a realized pain and then getting the customer to talk about their desired solution, then you can pitch your product and service in a way that helps them get from a realized pain to the desired outcome. So all you're really doing is taking them from point A to point B and showing that your products and services can get them to where they already want to go. But of course, because you're asking questions and understanding their pains, you're framing the entire conversation to lead up to this moment. Then you can say, okay, I think I can actually help you get to your desired outcome. Do you mind if I tell you a little bit about what I do? And of course, they're going to say, sure, why not? And from there, you are ready to actually pitch your product or service, right? And when it comes to the actual pitch, you don't necessarily have to have this perfect script or anything like that because your pitch is always tailored for that specific problem. And it basically, you're just showing the customer that you can be the solution to their pain. So for me, I don't worry about, I should say X, Y, Z, then I should show my case studies and I should do this and that. All I have to do is remember or write down what this person's problems are and then show them how I can solve their problems one by one. So in the case of me selling HR software, all I would have to do is write down all the problems the person is facing. And I could say, okay, so you're having someone manually process all this data. Let me show you how this software will automate that for you. And I just show them how it works. And naturally, they're going to think, that's exactly what I need to make my problem go away. And so from here, I'm actually reversing the situation. Instead of me going in and just pitching cold, I understand the customer first. I understand their problems. And then I just ask them, hey, I think I can help. Do you mind if I show you what I do? They will say yes. And I just show them exactly how I can help them. So now the situation is reversed because now they're coming to me. It's almost as if I'm a doctor where they're coming to me with a problem, which I identified and now they realize. And then I show them and I prescribe them the solution. And now they're going to want to buy my products and services versus me trying to push it onto them. And the thing about people is that people don't like to be sold, but they love to buy. right? Think about that. People don't like to be sold, but they love to buy. So if you can show people that you have something that will bring them value, they will love to buy your products and services because you're bringing value and you're solving their problems that they don't want to solve by themselves. Now, to summarize everything that we talked about in this video, step number 1 is identifying the latent pain, which is a pain people realize that they don't have. Step number 2 is turning that latent pain into a realized pain, making them aware and conscious that they actually have a problem and showing them how bad that problem actually is. And step number 3 is the desired outcome. Once the customer understands that they actually have a pain, ask them what they would want their ideal situation to look like. So for example, in a perfect world, what would you want to happen, right? And they're going to describe exactly their desired outcome. From there, all you got to do is position your product and service in a way that helps them get from their realized pain to their desired outcome. And it's going to be so obvious that they're going to want to purchase whatever it is that you have because it actually helps them achieve their goals, right? People don't like to be sold, but they love to buy. And now you know the 3 steps to sell anything to anybody. And again, this is applicable to pretty much any sale, whether you're an agency, a coach, or a consultant selling software, selling physical products. If you're able to figure out and uncover someone's pain and show that your products and service can make that pain go away and help them get to where they want to go, it's going to be much more likely that they purchase whatever it is that you're selling. So the last thing I'm going to leave you with is this. When it comes to sales, it's not about being a smooth talker or knowing the best things to say and being quick and witty, right? The best salespeople that I personally know are actually the best listeners, right? It's not about doing a dog and pony show and doing a grand presentation. Actually, all sales really is understanding the customer, asking questions, listening, and then giving them a solution to make their pains go away. And if you can do that, you're going to be one step closer to being the salesperson you always wanted to be. So again, if you enjoyed this video so far and you learned a little something, go ahead and give this video a like because every like does help, and this is a new channel. And if you are new to this channel, go ahead and subscribe because I'm going to be releasing new sales training and business videos every single week. So go ahead and subscribe and turn on notifications. So with that said, that's it for this video, and I'm going to see you guys in the next one.